We're back with Lowcountry Money Talk, and as we have unpacked all kinds of issues on this show, we're of course talking about some of the current environment threats, current events, and how it's really affecting you. So particularly threats to your retirement. Phil Bloyd is joining us here at the desk to provide some expert advice and help us work through these topics. Phil, thanks so much.
All right. Now, Jessa, we talk about, Washington needs money.
It does. Where do they get it?
Well, if you saved money, they're trying to get it from you.
That's right, that's the problem.
So, I think one thing we need to look at in retirement is how can we be more effective with our money and set it up so that Washington gets less. They're still gonna get enough, believe me. But there's a lot of threats right now to our savings dollar. Mm-hmm. We talked in the previous segment about inflation, it closing out 8%. Okay, so figure I have $100 and now inflation, I'm at 92. Okay, then what? Stock market volatility takes another 20%. So let's say we're down another 20%, so another 18 and some change. So let's just round it off and say, okay, we're at $75 now. And then we have this money in a deferred account, meaning that we haven't paid taxes on it yet. And Washington says, well, you got $75 here, we're gonna want our cut. Mm-hmm. So they say, okay, we want another 30%. So now I'm down around 50 and some change, right? And then we say, okay, what about our national debt? And how will that affect the $50 that I've got left?
Right.
Devaluation of the US dollar. So the more that our government spends, we're like 30 trillion in debt now. Recently they passed what they call an omnibus, and there was a bunch of junk in there. There was some good stuff. But another 1.5 trillion.
What's interesting about that, because I did read that, and just the cliff notes really about what that means for us. What I don't do, and I think probably some viewers can relate, is lose any sleep over the debt, the national debt.
Yeah.
But really, we should be losing sleep over the national debt, because it's hurting the dollar and our value, and to your point, all these different factors whittling down our money.
Well, the more that you put of something out there, the less it's worth. And the Federal Reserve added so much in their balance sheet. Some people say print money. We issue bonds and treasuries and stuff. That's how we borrow money. What happens, to the devaluation of the dollar, and people don't want to borrow our money anymore? Then the Federal Reserve has to take it on themselves, and then we have a devaluation of the dollar. So we're sitting on 50 US dollars, but the dollar continues to devaluate. When I say 50, because of the taxes, because of the inflation, because of the market volatility, now devaluation is going to take a chunk of that. Not to be all negative, but we need to understand, and our schools don't do a very good job of teaching. And our politicians spend recklessly, and they're like, there's no end in sight. Okay, 30 trillion, 40 trillion, whatever. In the year 2000, we were, about 5 trillion in debt only. And I say only, that's a big number, but in 2000, we were about 5 trillion. Wow. Now we're 30.
That's an incredible leap. I mean, if you think about the amount of time that has gone on just to get from 5 to 30.
Let me give you this stat. 50% of all the US dollars that existed was created in the last 2 years.
Wow. That's eye-opening. It's eye-opening. And you know what? It's scary for folks who, no matter what walk of life you're in, because it has major impacts for us. For those who are in or nearing retirement, you're probably wondering what that means for your portfolio, and how much risk you're taking on, how much you should be taking on. That's something that Phil and his team can help you with. So if you would like to do a complimentary risk assessment portfolio analysis. A good fit for Revolutionary Financial Group is those who have portfolios of $500,000 or more.
Right.
So you can take all these factors into account
Yep.
and make sure we're doing the right things with the money that we do have.
Yeah,
Right?
well, we'll talk about some more things in the next segment on what we can do about this, how we can stretch those dollars out and make them last.
Yeah, okay, so we like solutions. We're gonna give you some of those next after the break.